Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
You all should be at the beach this morning. I know we got a lot of people we know there. Just kidding. So you guys made a conscious decision to come today. Summertime, a million other places you can be, and for that you will reap what you sow. And what I want to talk about today is constructive versus destructive habits. Okay, what's the book you're reading right now?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. So I read that book twice back to back because Shaq told me to in February, back to back, right? And I think everybody should read this book. It's called Atomic Habits. But you are not who you think you are. You are a product of the last 3 to 5 years of choices and habits stacked up on top of each other. And if you can identify those habits and make it ultra clear, you know, what's going on in your day-to-day activities, you know, you can either compound the good things or the bad things that you're doing, because there's no stagnation in life. You're either growing or dying, right? So let's take a look at some of these destructive habits. Jim Rohn says life is part negative, so you got to talk about the negative parts, right? So the first thing, these are within Primerica as a company, right? You are all self-employed contractors with the opportunity to turn it into a business. So within Primerica, if you're not showing up or being late, that's a problem, right? Showing up, you beat 50% of the people in business, right? And if you're not on time, what does that tell the person that you're meeting?
You're not serious.
It says that you're not serious. What does that tell the person who is pouring their time, energy, and resources like a mentor into you if you're not on time?
You don't respect them?
You don't respect them. I played football for a very long time. I got a college scholarship for it. Dude, if you were late to the field, what was it? You said it yesterday? Get him chopping. Take a lap around the building. Like, the coach would just look at you perplexed, like, what are you doing here? You're late. I'm surprised you even showed up. You're late, right? I'm reading a new book that Shaq recommended as well, right? It's like The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick, one of the most winningest coaches in history. You got my phone? And he said, before you can win, you got to learn how to not lose. You know, and he talks about in the book, you know, I don't know how many of us in here understand football, but he talks about pre-snap penalties versus, you know, during the play penalties. And the pre-snap penalties are, you know, false starts, offsides, you know, too many men on the field. These are simple things that you can avoid, right? If you keep your head on a swivel and you pay attention. He said in the entire 2000s and, you know, the 2000 teens, right? They committed the least amount of pre-snap penalties amongst any team in history because they focused on controlling the controllables, right? You can win more by learning how to not lose, and just showing up on time is like the easiest thing in the world, guys. Why be late? It's a bad habit. Number 2 is not prospecting, okay? So in business, you have to advertise, right? You have to market your product and or service. Otherwise, you'll have the most secretive, highest quality product on the market that nobody will buy, okay? You can't be a secret agent in this business and pretend and expect to win, right? Shh, I'm in financial services. I'm not gonna tell anybody because I'm nervous. and expect to win in business, right? Make 100 grand. Come on. You gotta tell people what you're doing, right? I mean, who should you tell?
Everyone.
When should you tell them?
Immediately.
All the time.
The next thing is too much time with too much time with 80 percenters versus 20 percenters. Okay, I learned from a old mentor of Shaq and Samir's. Actually, he said one of the biggest reasons people phase out of this business and a lot of businesses, to be honest, is they spend time with the wrong people. I'm not just talking about outside of Primerica. I'm talking about in Primerica. If you've made the right decision to become a recruiter in this business and you spend 80% of your time with knuckleheads, I promise you won't be here very long. Because iron sharpens iron, right? And if you put a fresh fruit next to a rotten fruit, what comes next? Right, so that's going to be you if you spend the majority of your time with folks that are not matching your energy, right? Not competing or treating competition lightly. I just finished an entire chapter in this book by Bill Belichick just on competition. I mean, he wrote a whole chapter on the subject, competing. Can I tell you guys something? Team Infinite is going to be the #1 team to come out of this entire DMV area. I promise. And no one's going to stop it, and no one's going to compete with us. We're going to have 300 codes and do something that's never been seen out of the DMV before. I promise you. I promise you nobody's going to stop us. We're already #1 in every category right now. You don't like it? Good. Compete. That's exactly what Coach Bill Belichick said in the book. Competition is what drives everything, the motor of the boat. If you don't like competition, I don't know if you're going to meet max capacity of your potential. Next is treating Primerica like a hobby versus a business. So let me give you guys a couple examples, okay? Imagine you owned a 7-Eleven or a Chick-fil-A, right? And, it's Saturday, probably one of the busiest days of the week for any store or restaurant, right? But you can't show up. You're the owner. The reason why you can't show up is because you got to go to Beach Week. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to Beach Week. It's summertime. You're going to take the whole week off and not show up to your place of business because you got to go to Beach Week. Another one is you're sick, okay? And you can't get off the bed or the couch because you're so sick, okay? You just want to sleep in and just let sickness consume you, not figure things out, right? Do you think that business owners have the luxury to not show up to their place of business for one whole week and expect to still have it running?
No.
What happens if you leave an infant alone for 24 hours? Imagine if we left ZJ alone for 24 hours. No food, no chaperoning. Just let him do whatever he wants for 24 hours, right? You guys are what Harvard, and me too, to be honest, including me. We are in what Harvard Business School calls the infancy stages of our business. And it's not an income thing, it's a size thing. Seriously, if you don't have a certain amount of licensed agents in your business, RVP or no RVP, you're still in the infancy stage. You can't treat your business like a hobby. It's got to be top of mind. It can't be an afterthought. In business, you get paid for foresight, not hindsight. You see? This is how true owners and entrepreneurs think. Next, procrastination, okay? This is a big one. I'll do it tomorrow. I didn't have that great of a day today. I'll do it tomorrow, right? It's 5 p.m. and you say, tough day, man. Tomorrow will be a better day. You go home at 5 p.m. Bro, people get paid in jobs from 9 to 5. You win in business from 5 to 9. You get, what do they say? In the beginning, you are underpaid, but if you work long enough on the right things, in the end, you'll be overpaid for your efforts, right? But not from I'll do it tomorrow mentality. You gotta take advantage of the time you have today. I was talking with somebody yesterday about something totally unrelated to business, and they were talking about something that they were engaging in that a lot of other people don't have much success with. And they said, but I'm still gonna keep going because I don't know if and when my health could ever be affected, you know? So to say I'll do it tomorrow is to think that you'll be healthy tomorrow. Nothing's gonna happen to you or your loved ones. You think you have all the time in the world, right? I think there was a story once where the devil and 3 minions get together and they're trying to figure out how to convince the whole world that God doesn't exist. And the first one goes, tell him that he's not real. Devil says, nope, that's not gonna work. They won't believe that. The second one says, okay, tell him that God doesn't love him. Nope, that one doesn't work either. And the third one says, I got it. Just tell them that they have time. And the devil grins with greed. He goes, that's the one. That's gonna work. Halfway efforts, okay? This goes into the one I just finished with, guys. If you are not giving it all you got, why give it any effort at all, right? Put everything you got into this craft because it's gonna, you know what Jim Rohn says is, you don't just reap the wind, you reap the what? Whirlwind. And what that means is you could, just like when investing into an investment account, right? You can put $1 in and get back 9. That's what this business returns to you for your efforts. You're not investing dollars, you're investing what? Efforts. Not mastering the fundamentals, okay? Things gotta become reflexive for you. Like, to the point to where I'm not even consciously trying. It's reflexive, right? That's why they call it a knee-jerk reflex. When they put the hammer to the knee, boom. If I throw Ali here into an interview to recruit somebody, I'm talking, I was scheduled to interview him, and I say, you know what, never mind. I don't really want to do this. You go do it, Ali. He should know the interview so well, the presentation so well, right, that he doesn't even flinch. And I use him as an example because I literally did this like yesterday to him. And he was good to go. Know your fundamentals, right? You got to know them before you can master them, right? Do you know all the products that we offer? I mean, in and out, upside down, top to bottom. Do you know all the products? How to present, how to overcome objections, how to recruit someone, right? Do you know these like without a shadow of a doubt? Treating recruiting like a luxury versus a necessity, okay? That's destructive behavior in this business because I want to ask you guys a question, okay? How many places can you be in at one time?
One.
Right. What if you did a group presentation and you had 50 people show up? Can you submit 50 applications by yourself all at the same time? If it were between having 50 other people submitting one application or you submitting 50 subsequent back-to-back applications, which would you prefer? The first or the second?
First.
If it were between 100% of your income coming from your efforts forever or 1% of your income coming from many other people's efforts, which would you prefer, the first or the second?
Second.
If we pulled up the recruiting leader sheets year to date, we will find out who really believes that, right? I clicked something on accident. There's one last slide here, guys. That's the destructive behavior to avoid. Lastly, the opposite is constructive behavior, right? To pursue and exercise. So the first one is always show up and show up first. How about that? Can you show up first? What does it take? What does it take for someone to show up first?
Plan ahead.
Plan ahead. What else?
Just wake up early.
Wake up early. Does this cost anything? Why can't that be you? Just wake up early and show up first. Make it your priority. You know what I mean? How can you expect to execute on the big things if you don't handle the small things, right? Next is set goals and write them. I do this every day. I got it from my mentor because it works. I promise, when you write stuff down, it presents itself in its physical equivalent. You got to prospect every single day, guys. And I repeat it again in parentheses, every day, including Saturdays and Sundays. That could be on social media, it could be whatever. Just, it has to be an exercise, like a daily habit, getting your business out there to the marketplace. Next is mastering your fundamentals. We went over that. How about this? Double-digit recruit no matter what. How about that? Go and recruit 10 new agents into your business every single month, no matter what, for 12 months in a row. How about just 6 months in a row? Not 7, not 9, not 10, not 9, 10 is what I'm saying, 10. Because it's just effort, right? It's just effort. 3 to 5K of personal production. That's just minimum. You can go out and get 3 transactions in one day, I promise. It's standards. The standards you set will be the standards you accept in the future. I put get securities license on there because, guys, there's just so much money out there. Like, it's just insane. The more conversations I have with people, this is just the tip of the iceberg with what's going on in the government. Hadn't even scratched the scratch yet. The last 2 are the most important, okay? Okay, so the last one's get better company in and out of Primerica, because whoever you're next to, right? And then lastly, I think is super important, especially where I think the hierarchy is headed right now. Do mentor check-ins daily, okay? They say form a merger with your upline. Are you in congruence with your upline's philosophies? Shows in your everyday activity and the numbers, right? So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this touched you guys, and you can go and put it into action. Thank you.